6 years ago, I married a woman named Mary. We were blessed with a cute daughter. We were known as a friendly family in the neighborhood and spent our days with everything going smoothly. My dream was to build a home of my own. My objective is to construct a home by the time my beloved 4-year-old daughter begins her elementary education. I'm working hard every day, while at the same time also searching for a suitable property. Although life was busy every day, I felt content. I realized that having a purpose makes me work even harder. I had no idea such an incident would occur. I thought I did my best. It's true. I was even taking the initiative to take on business trips. I was used to staying at hotels on my business trips, and after finishing work and taking a shower, I picked up my phone and noticed that I had a call. Upon checking who it was, I found out it was from my neighbor. My neighbor and I are close, as our children are around the same age, and we are quite friendly with each other's families, but it was the first time I had received a call from them at this late hour. I thought it must have been an emergency and answered the call. The neighbor was breathing hard. "Are you alright?" he said, panicking. I didn't know what was going on. "What's wrong?" I asked. "There's a fire! There's a fire at your house!" He spoke rapidly. I was shocked by the sudden events and my thoughts came to a stop, but anyway, I had to hurry back. That was the only thing that was clear in my mind. I still remember it. While hurriedly putting back on the suit I had taken off, I called my company, my in-laws, and my parents' house. Since my parents sleep early, they didn't answer the phone, just as I expected. I was able to get through to my in-laws. I explained the situation to them and told them that I would head back home for my business trip immediately. When I got into a taxi and headed home, the firefighting was already over, and there was a completely blackened house in front of me. I rented a single detached house, and fortunately, it seemed that there was no damage in the neighborhood. However, I couldn't see my daughter and wife. It would have been the time that they were soundly sleeping at home. Are they okay? Looking at the completely blackened house, my fear and anxiety increased. I frantically searched for my daughter and wife, and then, "Are you her daughter?" the paramedic asked me. My daughter was crying in the arms of a paramedic. It seemed she was on the way to the ambulance. I rushed over and got my daughter from the paramedic and hugged her tightly. I headed straight to the ambulance with her in my arms. There was no sight of Mary near the ambulance. I asked the paramedic, "Is the mother not here?" I asked. "I haven't seen anyone that looks like her," he replied. A bad premonition crossed my mind, but I had to do something about my daughter in front of me. My in-laws arrived just as I was getting panicked. Facing the terrible burned-down state of the house, they were stunned. I told them that Mary was still missing and asked my in-laws to accompany my daughter. They got into the ambulance with my daughter and headed for the hospital. My neighbors came out to see the situation after learning it was a fire. "Have you seen Mary?" I asked, but no one had seen her. The paramedics told me they didn't see any other people when they found and rescued my daughter from the burning house. She always slept in the same room. It couldn't be possible. I tried calling my wife, but she didn't answer, no matter how many times I tried. Where could she be? I searched the burned-out house, but she was nowhere to be found. Just when I was getting desperate, searching the whole house, my phone rang. It was Mary. For now, Mary was safe. I was so happy to receive a call from her. It was reminiscent of when I had a crush on Mary. I immediately picked up the phone. "Where are you?" Hearing this, Mary brightened up. "What's wrong? What's wrong? My phone fell off the bed and I didn't notice," she said. I was taken aback. "Where are you now?" I asked again, and then, "I'm home now. What's wrong?" Mary replied in a cheerful voice. "Oh, what do you mean? Are you at home, back at your parents' house?" Her parents were supposed to be on their way to the hospital with her daughter. If she knew the situation, she wouldn't be saying something so casual like that. I didn't know what to do, or what was going on. I couldn't figure it out by myself, but for the time being, Mary was okay. In fact, she seemed fine, so the next priority was my daughter. "I'll call you back later," I said, hanging up the phone. I headed to the hospital where my daughter and in-laws were. Upon arriving at the hospital, it was already the end of the treatment, and thankfully there was no serious injuries or burns. The cause of the fire was an electric leak. The paramedics then explained the procedures to be followed, etc. I'm going to be staying with my in-laws for the night for now. In the taxi headed to my in-laws' house, my daughter was already asleep. She had a tear-stained face. "I'm sorry I scared you like this. When you were already 4 years old, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you." I hugged her gently. And when I told my in-laws that I was able to get in touch with Mary, "Where is our daughter? Is she okay?" That's understandable. Given that she is her biological mother, the concern was only natural, but I didn't know how to explain it. as I myself don't fully understand the situation. So in order to have them understand the current situation, I called Mary while I was on speakerphone so that both my in-laws could hear. At this time, Mary answered the phone quickly. She must have sensed something strange from earlier. "Are you okay? What are you doing?" I asked, and she said, "What's up all of a sudden? I'm watching TV right now," she replied with a carefree voice. My in-laws don't seem to understand the situation either, their faces showing confusion. "How is our daughter?" I asked. "She's probably sleeping at this hour. She's sleeping soundly and comfortably right now," she answered, as if her beloved daughter was right next to her. My in-law's face gradually tightened, and I probably also looked pretty bad at this point too. The taxi driver must have sensed the uneasy atmosphere. The heavy, uneasy silence continued for so long. I feel sorry for the driver. I broke the silence with one word. "So, you two are both at home, right?" Upon saying that, "What? You don't trust us? We're at home. Our home. What's the matter?" she said grumpily. It's obvious that she was hiding something. Both my in-laws and I were certain of it, because my daughter was currently sleeping in my arms with a swollen, crying face. Why would she tell such a lie? I don't know what's going on right now. It's crazy that she didn't know anything about it. Where in the world was Mary without her little 4-year-old? Where is she? Ignoring my wife, who was talking on the phone, I got angry and hung up the phone. My in-laws seemed uncomfortable and restless. Yeah, of course they were. In the middle of such a difficult situation, their daughter was somewhere lying to the family, but my in-laws had no responsibility for this. What should we do? I felt sorry for my in-laws, who were agitated as their expressions became tense. My in-laws are not at fault, and I have no intention of blaming them. I asked my in-laws to do something for me. My in-laws gladly agreed. They worked with me late into the night. I didn't want to do anything to make my good in-laws sad. Then the morning came. In the morning, I thought she would come back home, so I waited in front of the house for the first train. Mary got home later than I expected. I'm guessing it was just in time to drop our daughter off at daycare. I was amazed. What did she intend to do for our daughter's breakfast? And she had a duffel bag in her hand. That's the one we use for a day trip or something. She must have stayed overnight somewhere. She noticed me, who was on the way out, and had a look of disbelief on her face. I just kept quiet. I headed towards the entrance with Mary. Looking at the changed appearance of her home, Mary was stunned. "What? What happened?" We were the ones who wanted to hear what was going on. I am angry, but I can't let my emotions get the better of me. I held myself back as calmly and desperately as I could. "The house burned down. Our daughter is safe." "Where have you been?" I said in a trembling voice. Mary avoided eye contact, but managed to squeeze out a few words. "I was at Olivia's house. You know, she even came to the wedding. We've been friends since middle school, and she's a local." Olivia had gotten married internationally and went overseas. She hasn't been back in a while. I thought it was a good opportunity to see her. Mary and I didn't see eye to eye at all. If it was a mutual friend or a mom from the neighborhood, I'd know her face and name. She mentioned the name of a friend from the past whom I didn't know. I figured it must have been something like that. And then I calmly asked, "You have a 4-year-old daughter. How can you be coming home so late in the morning? Is that okay?" "I got carried away by the nostalgia and the conversation got lively, so I missed the last train." "You could have just taken a taxi home," I said. "I didn't have any cards or much cash in my wallet," she said as her excuses became more and more verbose. "Then why did you lie about being home?" I asked. "I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't help it. I just lied about it. I didn't know there was a fire. I'm so sorry." Mary tried to sound apologetic, but it seemed insincere. Well, that's how it is. She's still lying at this stage, so I took a deep breath and opened my mouth. "Was it Olivia? What did Olivia say yesterday?" Then Mary's parents appeared from behind her. "I called Olivia's house last night, and her parents said that she's still away overseas and hasn't come back yet," her father said with a trembling voice. Next to him, Mary's mother was crying quietly. Mary was quite surprised, but countered, "How could my dad know that?" That was what I asked my in-laws to do. I asked them to help me last night. I asked them to list everyone they knew from Mary's student days. I asked them to come up with a list of as many people as they could think of, and I asked them to contact every single one of them. If they didn't have a phone number, I asked them to provide a full name or the school they attended, and I searched for them on social media. I emphasized the urgency of the situation when I contacted them late at night, and everyone cooperated without raising any suspicion. But why did I do all this? Because I was certain Mary was cheating on me. When I arrived at my in-laws' house last night and took my daughter to bed, she woke up, so I talked to her for a little while. And then, "Mom went out after making a phone call with a man," she told me, and then Mary got angry without apology. "You said you were on a business trip, but you were really cheating. I know you're also cheating on me. We both were." Of course, I wasn't cheating on her, but I didn't miss a word Mary spat out. She said also, and that we both were. That was the moment she admitted to her cheating. I knew it, but it was still hard to hear it in person, because until this incident happened, I loved Mary, so I had no choice, but her cheating was unforgivable. But more than that, I can't forgive her for leaving my little girl alone in the morning. I can't forgive that. I'm sure I'll never forget it. "Let's divorce." When I told her this, Mary's face turned pale. She cried and begged, but she was forcibly taken away by her in-laws. I heard the story the next day from the in-laws. The person she was having an affair with was a man she met on a dating app. They had gone on many dates. Apparently, she fell in love with him. She would leave her child at night and go out. It was not her first time. The divorce was successful. Of course, I had custody over my daughter. But my wife said I was also cheating on her and was not very nice about it. I wondered why she was so confident that I was cheating on her. It seems that the person she was having an affair with filled her head with all sorts of nonsense. Business trips are just an excuse for cheating. That's what men are like. I was disgusted by the shallow words of a cheating man. I can't get over it. But Mary was still Mary. I don't know if she knew or if she was being deceived. It seemed like the person she was having an affair with was also married, and his wife blamed Mary for the affair. Mary seems to be going through a tough time as well. She could have had her daughter taken away had she not done her best. This incident, I hope Mary will reflect on it for the rest of her life. As for me, even though I'm busy with work and parenting, I'm getting by with the help of my parents and parents-in-law. My parents-in-law and I have promised that we will never meet Mary, and that they would help me out whenever I couldn't handle it on my own. They also provided various forms of support. My home is now almost complete. It's too big for 2 people, but my daughter is happy, so that's all that matters. From now on, I will do my best for my daughter and live a happy life. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy it? We look forward to your next viewing.